Let's go back to the end of time now and see what he says. Okay, so none of these party members have anything else they want me to do. Let's switch out so we can talk to Frog and Robo. Does Frog have anything? Any unresolved business? No, I don't think Robo does either because we already did Genodome. Okay, what party do I want then? Let's go with this party for a while. But what are we gonna go do? I think there's still some stuff we haven't done in the Lost Sanctum. Let's go to the Lost Sanctum and prehistory and just talk to everyone again and try to figure out what's going on. Like someone was talking about building a bridge or something. Lumber, eh? Try my friend in the Millennia Wood. He might be able to help. Okay, what? You need to borrow the golden hammer? Alright, I'm not using it at the moment, and I did receive it from you after all. Alright, so things are happening. I just needed to come back and talk to people. That's usually how it goes. This is the Millennia Wood up this way, right? So there's someone up here that will help us with lumber? This guy? There used to be an enormous tree growing in this wood, but those monsters felled it. What a waste. It was such a strong and stalwart tree. You need lumber to build a bridge? Well, I'd much rather see that tree used than let it go to waste. Wait right here. I'll saw some wood for you. Here you go. I'm sure it will serve well. Godwood? Is that what it said? Okay, so I've got a hammer and I've got Godwood. But where was I gonna build the bridge? I don't remember. Somewhere up here where I needed to build a bridge? Oh, is this it? Place the Saint Stone here? Sure. Is that what they're talking about with letting it collect light so that it will light the cave? I don't know. I thought I was looking for a place to put a bridge up here. I don't know where the hell I'm building this bridge. I've got all the stuff for a bridge. I'm just carrying it around with me. Let's go forward in time and see what happened to the Saint Stone that we left there. What's the other time I can come here? Is it Middle Ages? Ah, that godwood should do quite nicely for the lumber. Dear me, that golden hammer is glorious. That should serve splendidly. My thanks. With all this, I should be able to make the bridge of my dreams a reality. Here, take this as a token of my gratitude. I got a haste helm. Where is he going to build the bridge? Is it going to show me? Off to the mountains I go. Okay, I guess we need to go to the mountains for both things, right? Because we need to see what happened to the Saint Stone when we left it at the top of that mountain, and we need to find where he built the bridge and what it leads to. Oh, fuck my life. Let's see what's happening up here. The stone shines with an inner light. Obtained a waystone. Alright, so that should let me go through that dark cave now, right? But what do I do here with this guy? He's in my way. Is this the bridge? This isn't where the bridge is, right? Nope. Alright, well, let's go to the dark cavern or whatever it was. I think the cave was back this way, right? The dark cave isn't in this time, is it? It's back in the past. Alright. My visual sensors do not function in total darkness. We should go back. What? We do definitely have the waystone. Is that not what we needed? Are you shitting me? Okay. So apparently the waystone wasn't working because I didn't tell this guy I was going to go use it. I have to come here and agree to explore. Hi, this is my editor self from the future. What I was about to say was that apparently I couldn't use the waystone even though I had it in my inventory because I hadn't talked to the right person and had them ask me to go use it. And apparently my microphone also thought this was bullshit and decided to just stop recording and protest. In all seriousness, it did actually stop recording right at this moment, and I have about 2 hours of footage with no audio. So what you're going to be hearing for the rest of this video is just going to be voiceover recorded after the fact. Honestly, this may have been a blessing in disguise because this section of the game was very frustrating to me. As I understand it, the Lost Sanctum was added for the Nintendo DS/mobile/Steam versions of the game, and it wasn't in the original SNES version. And that makes sense to me because it honestly feels like it's from a different game. The side quests here require you to go through the same handful of areas repeatedly, and it just gets boring very quickly. When I was here earlier in my playthrough doing a few side quests, I ended up just cutting out several times where I was kind of complaining about the same problem. Little did I know that I was not even halfway finished with all the running around this area that I was going to be doing, being constantly interrupted by these unavoidable enemy encounters that were just wasting my time. So yeah, to spare you the trouble of watching me trudge through this section, which I consider to be the worst section of the entire game, I'm just going to do a quick recap of the side quests that I completed here. If you're looking for a full walkthrough, then I apologize. That's not really what this series is. This is just me kind of sharing my experience of playing the game. It's more about experiencing the story than necessarily getting into the gameplay and all that. So there are plenty good walkthroughs online if you want to find one. I would highly encourage you to find a walkthrough of the Lost Sanctum side quest because it'll help you avoid spending any more time here than absolutely necessary. I started out not using a guide, but after about the third or fourth time of having to run up and down the fucking Mount Emerald for no reason because I hadn't talked to the right NPC first to do what I needed to do, I just got fed up and used a guide myself, full disclosure. Alright, so now we're back at this dark cave, and lo and behold, the Waystone now works. It illuminates the cave and we discover this fortress full of bad guys. Luckily for us, they happen to have come to the entrance of the fortress to discuss their evil plans out loud amongst themselves at the exact moment we arrived. So we find out that they're planning to attack the Reptite village, and so we whoop their asses and then head back to warn the Reptites. The Reptites very politely ask us to save them from certain doom yet again, and we oblige, of course, because that's what heroes do, as long as there's a reasonable expectation of some kind of tangible reward. So we head back through the caves, battling the hordes of invading monsters, and then we ascend this fortress where we confront these two assholes. These are Archaeofangs, and they are apparently the ones plotting this attack on the Reptites. This boss fight was actually a little tricky because, well, they're pretty strong, but the main problem is that they can revive each other. That's the gimmick of this fight. Once you kill one, you have a short amount of time to kill the other one, or else it'll fully revive the one that's dead. So you have to bring them both down at the same time. The Reptites thank us for stopping the attack, promising our deeds will be remembered for generations to come. And then they give us a Valor Crest, which is a great accessory for Isla. So with that threat addressed, we return to the Middle Ages to check up on that bridge that is being built. This Reptite tells us that his neighbor, the bridge builder, hasn't returned home lately. So now when we go up to Mount Emerald, we can talk to this new, and he lets us pass. We find our Reptite friend dangling perilously from his partially constructed bridge and offer him a hand. He tells us he needs someone with plenty of brawn to assist him. So we enlist the help of the new master, but after a while he gets hungry. So we go back down the mountain and find a Reptite in the village who wants to help and gives us a meal to deliver to the new. He's grateful, but he has one more favor to ask of us. Apparently, he really likes bananas. So we head back down the mountain, and definitely do not get the wrong food the first time because we didn't pay attention to what food he said he liked. And then we go back to prehistory and find a monster that drops sweet bananas. Then we return to the Middle Ages and climb up the mountain for the final time. Right? Well, the new gobbles up his snack and finishes the bridge in no time. Finally, we can cross this magnificent bridge and see what all the fuss is about. But first, we teleport back to the bottom of the mountain via a cutscene where the village celebrates the completion of the bridge and the new discovers the magic of friendship. Then a reptite returns to the village after having crossed the bridge and reports seeing a strange, ominous tower. The elder then tells us that there were once legends of a tower that held heavenly idols that watched over the village. This is great news because it's the perfect setup for another cutscene that will teleport us back up to the top of the mountain. Just kidding, I'll go fuck myself now. So after crossing the bridge, we reach the aforementioned tower. We fight various baddies as we climb the tower before finally confronting a sentient pile of armor known as the Master at Arms, along with his cute little buddy, the Bladesman. The Bladesman heals the Master at Arms, so we take him out first, and it's not long before the Master at Arms falls. So after defeating this boss, we go to the final level of the tower and discover that these heavenly idols housed here are in fact idols of ourselves. To be specific, they are statues of Chrono, Luca, and Robo, who were my party members when I fended off the attack on the village in the previous side quest. Mercifully, we are again teleported back to the village where we report our findings and are rewarded with the Champion's Badge, which is a great accessory for Frog that further enhances the Masamune and cuts MP costs in half. We also picked up a rusted blade in the tower, which this guy back in prehistory has been looking for a long time, so we bring it to him and he forges it into Iceworm, which is a slight upgrade to the Onimaru, which I currently had equipped on Chrono. And completing this little fetch quest also reminded me that there was a reptite in the Lost Sanctum in the Middle Ages that wanted me to bring it a Lumicite shard. So after too much time, let's leave it at that, I just looked up how to get a Lumicite shard. It turns out you have to encounter this enemy called a Wonder Rock that spawns very rarely in certain areas, and then charm it to get a Lumicite shard. How you are supposed to figure this out without just looking it up is beyond me. The DS version of this game does apparently have a bestiary that tells you that this enemy drops a Lumicite shard, but I think you would still have to encounter the enemy to even be able to see that, and it doesn't spawn very often. Anyway, long story short, I got the Lumicite shard on my first try after finally encountering the Wonder Rock, and brought it back to this reptite who made an elemental Aegis out of it. The elemental Aegis is an armor that only Luca can equip, and it nullifies all elemental damage. So with that done, we can finally say goodbye to the Lost Sanctum forever. As I said before, this was my least favorite part of the game. The payoff with the reveal of the heavenly idols was a cool moment, but everything leading up to that was just way too tedious, and it definitely felt like there was a lot of padding there. So that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching and bearing with me here. I believe the next recording session didn't have any audio issues, so the episodes should be back to normal going forward. But if you did like this style of video better, do let me know in the comments. It is actually more convenient for me to do it this way, as I covered a lot more ground in one episode than I normally would have, but I also had to gloss over some stuff which I don't like. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a like, and of course you can always subscribe to stay caught up with the series. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.